Thank you for joining us for live paranormal radio. From the paranormal to the unexplained, it all happens here. It all happens here. Looking to enhance your radio experience? Participate in our live video chat 24/7 with our live paranormal radio show hosts and other like-minded people. Live. ParaNormal.com, the only interactive social chat room supported by full interaction media. Stop by now and join the fun. Stop by now and join the fun.
All right, welcome to Live Paranormal Spotlight Radio. We have a very special guest with us tonight. We have Samantha Hawes. Samantha, are you there?
I am. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good.
So, it's an honor to have you on. I definitely appreciate it, and I know the fans of yours and Ghost Hunters is definitely pumped up to have you on tonight. So, I guess why don't you do a little introduction on yourself for those who don't know you, though I kind of gave it away with the little heads up there. But introduce yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Samantha Hawes. I'm on SyFy Channel's Ghost Hunters. I've been in the paranormal field for about 14 years. I've been on the last few seasons of the show. I think only one season I'm on has been aired, but there's another one coming up, so I'm excited for that, and we're filming some more now. So, you'll see much more of me soon. So that's quite some fun. And that's what I love to do. I'm a mom. I'm a historian. I have a teaching degree. So, I got quite a lot of things going on, but I do love the paranormal.
Well, and who doesn't? But let me introduce you to Niki. Niki, you there, co-host? No, I don't think she's there yet. She seems to be muted. But anyway, you know what? The one thing that we'll start anyway. The one thing that people did ask is when does the new season start? That was the one thing that I got a lot from the fan questions. So we'll get that one out of the way.
As of now, what I was actually told yesterday is that we're looking at the summer. I don't have an exact date. I really wish I did to tell you, because I would, of course, share that and love to. But all I know right now is summer is a definite. So, a few months away.
Well, that's good. So as soon as we find out, we will post it, but I'm sure they will, be all over the website waiting to find out when those episodes will air. So that's actually great. We're looking forward to that. I just did a speaking engagement over the weekend, and the one question that you always get, no matter what, where you're at from my perspective, being in the paranormal, is they ask me if I watch the television shows, and every time that's just like the one thing that they will ask me immediately is, do I watch the television shows? And you know what, I do, and I've always respected the approach of your show, and I think it's probably, it's obvious why it's the longest running one out there, is that I find it's refreshing that if evidence is not gotten on an episode, that it you don't reach for it. You guys tell it how it is. That we didn't see anything, and I think that's refreshing compared to some of the stuff that's out there in the industry.
Well, thank you. We would definitely appreciate that.
Well, it's true. You get some of the shows that I feel will reach, and you guys definitely go reach. So, how long did it take for you to get lured in, or how did it all come about to come on to the show? What I know there's the obvious connection there that's a no-brainer, but how did you actually get involved?
Well, actually, of course, obviously doing this for years, we did private investigations with Dad. When we got older, we went to, conventions and meet and greets and, his investigations with fans and things like that. And then I, obviously graduated high school, went off to college, started a family, got married, did those things. And then when I finished college, I actually finished with a history degree and a teaching degree. And, college came to an end, and I was looking for something a little more fun to do and looking for, a good job. And Pilgrim Studios came forward and said, we're actually looking for a historian. So I didn't call them. I didn't call and say, can I be on the show? Can I travel with Dad? Can I do these things? They said, hey, we're looking for a historian, and we want to bring another woman to the show, and if that's something you're interested in, we would love to do it. So, of course, I took that opportunity. I mean, teaching jobs are always going to be there, but I'm not always going to have the opportunities to travel and see these really great places and meet so many amazing people and, get to go places most paranormal investigators don't get to go. I mean, we get some really cool cases that we get called on, and we get some crazy access to places. So, I definitely jumped on that chance, and I'm having a great time doing it.
So really, you grew up kind of around the paranormal, and how many, when you were younger, did you go on many investigations prior to going to college, or is that something that you maybe explored later on?
No, definitely before college. We were, when we were young children, I remember being 4 and going to, 4, 5, 6, and when TAPS was very local and very small, it was my dad, it was Grant, and then it was Steve, and the few people that were there in the beginning, it was just, they needed a local coffee shop, and they would go over evidence, and they would plan their investigations, and I was always there for those things. And then, I would start going on small trips with Dad when he would do, they would travel and go to just some ghost hunts like Rolling Hills and things like that. I would travel and do those things, and just in the back. I wasn't with him and I wasn't with his fans, but just me and my mom would walk around. We would do our own little thing. And then we started going to things like CapsCon and those things where they were bigger investigations. They went on for a few nights at a time. So, it grew and grew and grew, but we've definitely always been doing it as a family, doing small, low-key things together. And I still, on the weekends, do things with the TAPS home team. I've been doing a lot of that lately in my free time, just getting back to doing small-time, local in residences and things like that.
Well, that's cool. And I know what a family guy your dad is, and, it's cool to hear that, you went around with him, and that's how you got kind of started in it. So it was kind of, in your blood, so to speak. So yeah, that's cool. And so I'm looking through my notes here, and I see, you through all these investigations and stuff you mentioned, and I found this funny, so I had to bring it up. I found it on Facebook today, and we talked about it briefly on Twitter, that there's nothing that really scares you, but there really is one thing that you're afraid of. And
there is.
You got it.
Okay, I don't really want to label it as a fear. It's more of an issue. But
right.
Cotton is an issue. Cotton in medicine bottles and things like that. It's just one of those. I think everybody has a thing they can't be near and they can't touch and they can't. I don't know. I don't know if it's a sensory issue or whatnot. But it's
right.
definitely one of those things that even when I'm traveling, I will stop somebody in the airport and ask you, can you please take this out of my medicine bottle because I can't do this. I have no problem asking somebody because that is definitely a legitimate fear of mine.
Well, as I think my co-host is finally on, and as she will contest to, if I find something that I find funny or something, that I will not let it down. So
you'll never let it down ever.
I had to bring it up.
And no problem. In the last week, not only has my mother sent me text messages of pictures of Cotton, but my best friend has taken it upon herself whenever she opens up a bottle or anything like that, or she will send me, pictures. My husband loves to send me pictures from, the dentist's office, or he loves to just walk up to me with Cotton in his hand and kind of casually drop it in front of me on the counter, things like that. It's definitely an ongoing joke that a lot of people get to poke fun at.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't like those cotton little squares like they used for packing for when I had a tooth pulled, and they had those cotton little squares, and I can't stand those. I can't even look at them.
I'm notorious for canceling dentist appointments. That's something I tend to do just for the cotton fear.
Really? Well, and I don't know you well at all, and if I knew you better, I was contemplating it. I was going to try to find a 30-second commercial and make it brought to you by a fake commercial that said we're advertising cotton balls, but I didn't have the time to find it. So
I thought you were going to say you were going to send me some cotton. My heart kind of started to stop for a second. I didn't know what to do. I
will send you just a big, an official Live Paranormal T-shirt, and it'll be the packing one. It will be just cotton balls.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'll be honest with you. I understand the sensory issue because growing up I couldn't stand the feel of newspaper. It would give me the chills. So I guess I probably should not have pronounced that and told Niki that, because now I think my life will be a living hell when it comes to newspaper. But I couldn't stand it. Like if I would touch it or my feet would, it was just, I don't know what the deal was. But so I understand. And now I revealed something about myself just to now even the playing field. But all
right,
so,
good. So I'm just going to start, sending some newspaper your way.
But I'll send you cotton, you send me newspaper, and
we'll be even. We'll be fine.
We'll go from that.
This is awesome.
This is not where we thought we were going when you decided to agree to call in tonight. But what do you have coming up? Do you have any kind? I know you have. I saw you were going to be on the billing for an investigation in July. And do you have anything else before that, or anything besides that coming up?
I am not doing any events before that. Filming is picking up, so we're getting a little more busier with our filming schedule in the next few months. So that is that is a week that I have off. So I am doing that event then, and I'm hoping to book some more for the fall and the late summer. So those will hopefully come about soon.
Well, that's cool. It looked like it was pretty good. I guess your dad's going to be there. It's an unfortunate date because now it's July 25th, and our event is July 24th and 25th, which we talked about. And this one's July 25th. So, but logistically they're not close. So if you could, if you can't make it to the Paranormal Supertime, which you can visit www.paranormalsupertime.com, this is a viable option. And I don't know if you can appreciate the free plug I just shot in there, but this is in. Do you have the event information by memory, or?
I don't. I actually don't.
I know it's an Ideal Event Management. It's an event in Michigan, so that you can, Niki, do you have the website for Ideal? Because people can go there if they.
I
go to
www. I'll put a link in the chat room.
All right. Well, if they don't, just go to Ideal. You can look up Ideal events on Twitter and Facebook and buy your tickets there. But so you obviously can't tell us where you're going next with your filming, but over the past these couple of years that you've been doing this, what are some of the high points for investigating? Have you been blown away by anything? Location-wise, evidence-wise?
There's definitely been, as far as evidence goes, there's been some great stuff that's come up, and a lot of it is on the episodes that are going to be starting in the summer. So I'm really excited, and we've been waiting quite a long time now for these episodes to air because they're really, really good, and I'm so excited for people to see them. And as far as locations, honestly, when the first case that I went out on with the film crew was to Gettysburg, and Gettysburg, as a historian, was on my bucket list. It was a place I had never been, and I just wanted to go there so bad, and I got to spend a week there, and then I came back home for the weekend, and I went over my evidence, and then I got to go back the next week. So, it was amazing, and I got to spend quite some time there and looking around and exploring, and like I said, getting into places that most people wouldn't get to see and get to look into. So, that was definitely a big highlight for me, and since then, we've done quite a few battleships. We've done quite a few. I don't want to give anything away. That's fine. I don't want to tell anybody where we've been because I don't want to spoil it. But we've definitely been to some really cool places lately.
What about past episodes? Is there one that maybe stood out that people maybe already have seen that they you really liked, or anything that maybe that stuck out from the past seasons?
I was one of the only people that had never been to Trans-Allegheny. And when we got my first season on the show was the 200th episode. So not only did I get to go to Trans-Allegheny for the first time, and it's amazing. If anybody is looking for somewhere to go, just go there because it's huge, and the creep factor is there even if you don't experience anything, but chances are you will. The activity there is just insane. But not only did I get to go there, but my first time there, I got to go with everybody. I got to go with my dad and Amy and Adam and Grant and Steve and Dave and, I mean, Dustin and Joe, everybody was there, and it was such a great time, especially for my first time. I mean, people want to go hunting with these guys, and I got to go with all of them, and they're all my family. So it was just amazing to go with them. So that's definitely someplace that I loved, and I can't recommend it, highly enough.
Well, first of all, those are all quality people. I like all of them. So, that's right. And I think they all are in it for the right reasons, and it's probably fantastic. I'm jealous, but I've actually never been there. It's one that I know. Niki, have you been there? Have you been there?
Oh, yeah, I've been there. Yes, I told you, I'm dragging you along. I'm getting a group of 10 together, and I'm dragging you along. You have to go.
Yeah, we'll
4.5 hours for me.
Yeah, it's a while for me. I have a strict 5-hour limit on driving for an investigation.
Well, it's within
like
the window, so it's okay. And
like
I actually got to go there, and I love it. It's an absolutely fabulous location, and everyone should go. See, we both agree everyone should go.
Yeah, but it's
really good.
I
mean, you should definitely do it.
It does exceed 5-hour limit by about 4 minutes, so I don't know. I'll have to take it into consideration. But
wow.
So now, when it comes to investigating, what kind of style? I'm going through some fan questions I got earlier in the day. What techniques do you use? What don't you maybe use, or is there any you frown upon? I know there's a lot of techniques and ethics in the paranormal, and what are some that you endorse and maybe don't endorse? You don't have to say you don't endorse anything if you don't want to when it comes to provoking and whatnot. Is there any style that you kind of have adapted to, or did you kind of create your own style? Or
more than anything else, I think I've just been raised to always approach with respect and with the understanding that these are people, and talk to them like I would talk to a person. I mean, even if you may be dealing with something that's a tad bit grumpy, it's still a person, and you're still going to walk in there and you're going to talk to it like it is a human being, because that's what it deserves. So, of course, that's how I approach the situations. As far as equipment and what I like to use, I'm pretty old school, recorder, handheld, flashlight. That's always what's in my pocket, and that's what I take. I don't really tend to use anything fancy. I love watching things like the flashlights. I love watching those. I know Amy was always really good with those. And I feel like certain people get better results with those and can talk something into using it better. I've never had much luck, but that's something that I love watching and love experiencing and seeing being done. But I'm definitely somebody who just likes using a recorder and a handheld camera and just going in and asking questions and wanting to know who they were as people. What is your name? Who are you? Tell me your story so that we can better understand each other. And that's definitely how I approach every situation that I'm in.
Now, what about evidence-wise? Is there a piece of evidence that sticks out that you've maybe gotten on the show or not on the show that you can maybe tell us about?
See, in my head, I'm trying to go through what evidence you guys have seen already. I don't want to give anything too far away. I mean, let's see. There's definitely been some great voices. We've gotten some great information, especially on the episodes coming up. You guys are going to hear do some amazing things and do some things that are going to take your breath away. So I don't really want to give too much away, and I don't want to accidentally slip up and maybe tell you something you haven't heard yet. But there's some great evidence coming up.
Oh, we don't mind if you slip up. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, I know you don't.
We won't stop that. We'll come up with a big breaking podcast news. But for me, I always like the physical or the stuff on demand. Open the door and you get a door opening and stuff like that. I find that to be the most fascinating. Have you encountered anything where you've asked a specific question? The knocking, I think sometimes are hit and miss, but anything where you're like, hey, can you make that door open up, and you get a door open? Have you had anything like that with that type of evidence?
I mean, yeah, and I mean, I'll share something from a local case recently that wasn't, I mean, not for television, so it's nothing. I'm not giving away anything you guys are going to see on television. But on a local case lately that I was doing, I mean, I did the, that tune, the knocking, what is it, a shave and a haircut? Is that what it's called?
Right.
That yeah. So I was with a few people, and they had explained to something in the building, can you do that tune? And it occurred to me as a discussion from a past investigation a year or so back that that tune came around at a certain point, and this building we were in was long before that tune had ever been developed. So I just abruptly said, hey, listen, this is what I'm talking about. This is the tune that I want you to do. Now, can you copy me? Now, if I go 4 notes, can you finish it up? And we did that, and it finished the tune for me. And I said, now if I do 2, can you do the rest of it? And it would finish. And by the time we got done, I just had to say, can you knock the tune? And it would do the whole tune. And, I mean, it was all on recorder. So, I mean, it was definitely a great interaction. And there was it was a case where I could just say, hey, if you want to come, walk around and listen to what I'm saying, I just want to talk to you. And the footsteps were always around. I mean, it was definitely a case of something very intelligent and very willing to listen and communicate. So, I mean, that was a great experience. That was definitely an on-demand, here's your answers, here's your proof case. And sadly, it's not for television. It was just something private in Rhode Island. But, I mean, that was a great case. And we're going to get a lot of stuff like that everybody's going to see this season.
Well, that's cool. And I think a lot of people don't even realize there actually is a TAPS home team. It's legit. It wasn't just made for television, and I think a lot of people, don't
No, there's
realize
a TAPS
that.
home team, and they take care of cases in Rhode Island and surrounding areas, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, things like that. So, I mean, of course, if anybody's looking for them or needs them, they can just go on the Atlantic Paranormal Society website, and there's a TAPS home team tab. But there's also TAPS teams all over the country. I mean, so if you're not in New Hampshire, Connecticut, you're out in Ohio, there's going to be a team near you. There's going to be teams in most states, or at least in a state near you, that is willing to come out. And the difference between a TAPS home team and in other paranormal teams are these are teams that we've connected with because we share the same mentality. They're going to come into your house with respect, and they're going to come into your house asking the good questions. They're not going to come in and feed you a bunch of bull and try to convince you something's in your house that's not, and try to scare you and try to talk you into leaving your home or something of that nature. I mean, these are teams that are going to go in, they're going to respect your home, they're going to have you there with them. They're going to treat this like a very important case, like we do with all of ours.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the TAPS teams from around the United States and beyond, there's a more daunting process to getting the TAPS team nomination, or whatever you would like to call it, compared to some of the others. I know there's others that will put logos on their websites that they're associated with other people, and it's more of like a glorified link trade. And, I think that there is something to having the TAPS name associated with you, because it's a little bit more of a longer process, and I think a more well-deserved.
It's definitely more filtered. I mean, it's definitely more. I mean, we very much monitor the cases and the evidence and how they're approaching it. I mean, everybody listens to everything. I mean, honestly, I was on a home team investigation this past weekend, just a local private case, and I was texting Dad from the home, getting the homeowners some plumbing advice because they had some plumbing questions. I mean, and he plays a part in everything. I mean, he's behind the scenes on all of it, and he's making sure everything is running top-notch, and everybody's getting every bit of help that they need and they deserve. So, I mean, it's definitely a more filtered process, but for that reason, you're going to get 100% the best help that you could get by calling one of them.
Right. No, and I think that's legit, and I definitely recommend, anyone throughout the country listening needs to go to that website, and if they pick, the team from the state, I know they're very well researched, and man, we should text your dad afterwards. I'm having a problem with my hot water heater. So
yeah,
one of the issues I'm having today, I can't figure it out, and it's not.
Send me some pictures.
Old.
I'll pass them on. We can get it diagnosed.
We'll do like a three-way group text or something. It keeps tripping, and I can't figure out why it's tripping. So,
I feel like he's going to get a whole lot of plumbing tweets later this evening.
This is what I need, because maybe this was why we decided to have this interview in my hot water tank hidden behind the whole thing, because I can't figure it out. No, I have no background in any type of
you subconsciously just needed plumbing information.
That's right. I definitely need some advice, so we'll have to work on that next. But now I guess this would be a good segue into, obviously you get to go out and you get to investigate with your dad and, people you've been around for a long time. So there's the camaraderie is pretty good, I would assume. What kind of stuff goes on behind the scenes? Do you have any kind of maybe funny stories, anything that you might want to, that maybe no one's heard, that maybe somebody has fallen or a joke or prank was played on somebody? Is there anything that you would want to give up here while you're live on air?
I mean, there are lots of pranks. There are pranks every day that nobody knows are coming. There are pranks that may be a little dangerous at times, and they're mostly always done by my father. So, I mean, there's always pranks. I mean, I'm always falling. I'm always dropping equipment. I'm always tripping down a flight of stairs. That's always happening. I mean, it's just a constant funny game. I mean, there's one case a few weeks ago. Steve found a tree in a side yard, and it had these fruit things hanging from it, and they smelled absolutely horrendous. I mean, they honestly smelled like dog feces, and he had planted them all inside the cab fan for us to find all night long, and we couldn't get the stench out of the cab fan. So we had to film the entire time with the cab fan smelling like that, which is really hard to do. But, I mean, it's just constant tricks and constant pranks, and, I mean, people hiding behind walls, and, I mean, that's all that is. But it's a great time. I mean, we film from midday to all the way, the next day early in the morning. I mean, so I think without that fun, we'd be falling asleep. But, I mean, there's that, and we do, I mean, every night is a family dinner with the entire production crew and the entire TAPS team. I mean, everybody sits down together and everybody eats. I mean, it's a giant family, and it's really great because we're all on the road together for so long. I mean, production crews together, even through the weekends when some of us get to travel home and see our kids and things. So, I mean, it's really great that it's such a family structure. And most of these people have been together, I mean, production-wise, has been together for a majority of the show's filming. So, I mean, they're definitely just a giant family, and it makes it for a great time.
So do you think you will bring your kids into the paranormal, if not already?
I mean, they definitely do their little ghost hunts around the house already. They do their flashlights and their talking and things like that, which was, of course, something I did growing up. So I see them following in that suit. I mean, obviously, we were never pressured into doing anything, and they won't be pressured into doing anything, but they're free to do whatever it is they want to do.
Right, and it's funny around here. You never know who the kids are going to tell. Oh, my daddy was out with the ghost this weekend. It could give you some weird looks too. So you gotta be careful.
Mean, I have a kindergartner and I have a preschooler, and my kindergartner is pretty shy and she doesn't say much. But my preschooler is quite the opposite. She's very outgoing and she will tell you her life. She will do anything. And her school was they play the radio. They have like an hour a day. They listen to music in class. And the Ghostbusters song came on a few weeks ago. And I came to pick her up from school, and her teacher met me in the hallway. And she's like, "Oh, my goodness, you have to explain something to the children." And I said, "What do I need to explain to the children? What are you talking about?" And she said, "Well, the Ghostbusters song came on, and your daughter proceeded to explain to everybody that late at night her mommy and her papa are Ghostbusters, and nobody really knows what she's talking about." So, I mean, she definitely likes to share information, which is fine, but she doesn't know how to explain it. So when people look at her, it's like, what are you talking about, Ghostbusters? She doesn't know, oh, well, they're on that show, Ghost Hunters. She just says, my mom and my papa are Ghostbusters. So, I mean, she's cute. She's adorable. But so they definitely, I don't know, they're interested and they like to talk about it and they love it.
Well, I think that's the best part of it. My kids are, I think, very similar age. I have preschool and one. And my daughter, we just switched in the Catholic school. And when we were giving the email out, we gave my @LiveParanormal email out. And the lady looked at it for a second, and I was like, man, it's probably the wrong introduction we should have made to the Catholic school by giving out the @LiveParanormal email address. You know, we have so many email addresses, I'm not really sure why we decided to write that one down. But, you know, then she's like, yeah, my daddy's going to Scare Fest this weekend. It's just like, you know, all right. So then they're like, well, you know, what is this all about? So I had to explain to them, well, you know, it's the largest community-based site on the internet, and I, you know, go all over. And they're like, oh, that's cool. You know, especially then we did some stuff for the Wizardville Comic-Con. So I think, and that was here in Cleveland, so they saw some of the advertisements at the school. But once you explain to them, it kind of goes over. It's much more mainstream than it was, say, like 10, 15 years ago. It was more taboo back then. You know, still.
Oh, certainly.
But I don't think, you know, you get the outlooks as much as you do. You know, then it's much more mainstream, especially with, you know, the great television shows like Ghost Hunters, etc. And you know, I think it's definitely more mainstream, which is fantastic when you're in that genre, or you have an email address to give out to the school.
Because I mean, when I grew up as the you know, I'm 24, and when I grew up little, it was still odd, and nobody understood when I first said because I mean, production started in our front yard. That was the first time that the show was ever filmed. They put a trailer in our front yard, and that's what it filmed out of. So, I mean, having to explain that to people because, I mean, your bus picks you up on your road and your neighbors are looking around. And, I mean, so trying to explain, well, there's a production crew because my dad is a paranormal investigator and he goes in these old buildings and he goes in these homes. And, I mean, there was definitely what are you talking about? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Or that's weird. Like, that doesn't, you're weird. I mean, now it blew up. I mean, and it was just everybody came out of the woodworks and everybody had these experiences and everybody wanted to hear that they weren't crazy anymore. And, I mean, so it definitely just hit a point where people became much more comfortable with it. So I'm very lucky that now that I'm doing it, everybody is so open. I mean, that there are conventions for these things and there are meet and greets and there are investigations and I mean, it's just amazing to see. I mean, honestly, just how everything grew.
Oh, it's much more mainstream. I sell real estate for full time, and we give out pies for Thanksgiving. And when people come to pick up their pies, we invite them into the office, and I have to go extra early and stay extra late just because people want to talk about paranormal stuff. It's crazy how it's so much more accepted, which makes it easier. You know, when you know it wasn't like that before. So. Yeah, I remember when wasn't the actual when you were mentioning the first couple seasons. Wasn't that there was it a trailer that you guys that they would do the
yeah, there was a trailer in our front yard. Yeah, that's where it was. Right outside our front door. And that's where they filmed the first season or two before they got an office down in Warwick.
Right, I remember that, and that's actually there. I know that. You know, like I said before, people mentioned or would say, "Oh, there's not really like a headquarters anywhere," but you know, that's legitimately there. So it's not.
It is. That's where we keep our vans and our equipment, and I mean, production is going to be there at some point soon, helping us pack some stuff up for our next road trip. I mean, that's where all our stuff is. So it's certainly there.
Well, I was also talking to you earlier about some stuff you do on the side, and I know that you do. I mentioned the soaps. I was looking at your soaps, and we're kind of into that here at the house. And can people go right to your Facebook? Do you have a website where you can sell soap, and can you kind of give it a quick 30-second rundown on what you offer and what your favorites are?
Yeah, I mean, they can if you go to my Twitter or my Facebook. I'm always advertising things. But we sell through Etsy, which is just a whole bunch of crafters and small time artisans and things like that. But I mean, we do goat milk soaps. We do all natural lotions and lotion bars, and we do some vapor rubs and chapsticks and things like that. But I mean, everything's all natural. Everything's hypoallergenic. Things aren't scented with perfumes. They're scented with 100% therapeutic essential oils. And my purpose behind making them is I have a 6-year-old who's very allergic to pretty much everything I expose her to. I mean, every lotion, every soap, every laundry detergent. So we were making things for her, and it just made more sense to make them in bulk. And when we made them in bulk, we were giving them to family and friends, and we were doing craft fairs. And, I mean, it just made more sense to just start sharing things and asking people if they wanted them. So that's what we did, and we run it out of our kitchen. So, I mean, we do, she does all the packaging. She puts all of her labels on her things, and she takes stuff to the post office every weekend. So, I mean, all that stuff's there, and it's all natural and safe. And, I mean, essential oils are amazing for you, and they all have their own individual looking for any of that. Just message me. I answer all your questions all day and night.
I wouldn't say all night, because you'll get some people who send you messages like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I tend to be up. I don't. It's not like I'm sleeping at night. So.
Yeah, we don't sleep here. I have 4 kids, so they're always someone's. And I do this mostly out of my home office. When I started, I actually did it from a land office. I thought it was much more cool, but then I realized that the cool factor is no one can see me sitting here on radio, so I'm also do it from my home office. But I just had 3 of them run by my door, and they're all supposed to be sleeping. So that's the beauty of having glass panel doors in your home office. And it was funny because earlier today, Niki was like, "Hey, you're gonna buy me some soap, right?" I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And that's how I found out that you sell soap. So I think I'll have to get Niki some soap. What do you recommend?
I'm actually gonna put a bunch.
I deserve soap.
I'm actually going to put a bunch more stuff up this week. I'm putting up some soap dishes, a few different styles of those. I'm putting up a few different just healing things, a few different kinds of cold and flu rubs and things like that. Those will all be going up by this weekend. So there'll be a bunch more stuff to choose by then. But, I mean, what's my favorite? I definitely use our lotion bars all the time. They're just coconut oil and vanilla and things like that. And, I mean, we're big on tea tree oil. That's one that we like a lot. I mean, just tea tree oil is just amazing, and it smells great. So, I mean, that's one of our favorites.
Well, I would have thought, and, you know, I'm an economics major and marketing my background, that you would have some sort of soap that would be molded in the shape of like a ghost. I think it would increase your marketability. I think
maybe at Halloween.
I give everyone marketing. My opinions are always there. You know, if they're welcomed or not, that's up to you. Every episode, whoever calls in, I tend to have an idea for them, and usually probably to just roll your eyes and whatever. But I would do something that would be like ghost related, because I think you could hit a whole new market.
And I've actually thought about it. I mean, this isn't the first time I've heard this, and I've thought about it. But I've also considered how many people would put little like ghost soaps in their bathrooms, and I don't know if there's as many people that would put little ghost shapes in their bathroom. But if there are, I'd be more than willing to find a way to do so. I mean, everybody just has to let me know, and I'll do it.
You could do like ghost soap on a rope and stuff like that. It's fantastic. Just if you go that route, make sure you give the proper credit for the ghost soap on a rope idea. So
I'll make sure your email is attached to all of them. They can email you if they have complaints.
The ghost on the rope. I like that. If you don't go for it, I might. You'll see tomorrow that I'm going to start selling ghost on a rope. I guess to see how that goes. But anyway, it's been really a pleasure having you on. You know, you can tell the passion you have for this genre, and it's always nice to meet another good family person who's in the paranormal. And is there anything else you want to plug or say anything before we let you go tonight? Or if not, you can just
No, I mean, I just wish I had a date to give you guys for the episodes. But I mean, it'll definitely be summer, and we'll definitely tell everybody as soon as we have a date. And we don't keep our mouths shut. We tell everybody everything on Twitter. So as soon as we have a date, everybody will know, and I can't wait for everybody to see the episodes.
Well, what we'll do is maybe if you didn't, think we were crazy about the some of the ideas I had and having you on, we should have you on again prior to those new episodes being released, and we can talk about other stuff than Ghost Soap on a Rope, and actually talk about the upcoming season and the release date. So. Well, by then,
that sounds amazing. Maybe, I'll definitely work on the Ghost on a Rope by then.
Right, we'll maybe see you on Shark Tank or something, and then I'll just be completely disappointed. By then, it might have gone into levels that we never even thought of.
Yeah.
Or not. Probably not, but you never know. But it's definitely a pleasure, and I will send you a message soon, and we will circulate the podcast tomorrow, and it's definitely been fun. So thank you for taking the time out tonight.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. It was fun. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, everyone. That was Samantha Hawes from Ghost Hunters on SyFy. And Niki, are you still with us?
Sure I am.
So what do you think? I like that Ghost Soap on a Rope. She doesn't run with it. I think that's something that we should go for.
That would work. I've got nothing but time on my hands. I could make soap on a rope.
Are you rolling your eyes the same way she probably was rolling her eyes with my fantastic idea?
No, I think it's a great idea. I just don't imagine that she's going to have one that's cotton scented, so that could be our spin. Yeah, that could be our spin on it, Yeah.
It comes in like a cotton box with cotton, like a...
okay, so I'll be honest. I don't find that at all weird because I just think it's funny because I have this same type of thing with, bologna. I can't touch it. I don't eat it. It's weird. It's nasty. When I make my kids a bologna sandwich, I have to use a baggie to, put it on the bread, and I, gag while doing it. And I don't like birds, so, I'm luckily enough, I don't have to come in contact with, birds and make a bird sandwich, so I'm good. But, cotton, that comes up every day.
I've often said I'm going to send you a bird, and, yeah. I've given you the bird multiple times.
That's not a good idea. I've given you the bird many times, too, and that's not a bird I'm afraid of. It's not even really a fear. I just don't like them. I don't like birds. It's my mother's fault.
I'm not really sure about the bologna thing. I don't know if there's a
bologna,
support group
I don't know why.
Like bologna. We should look it up and see if there's an actual... There may be, for cotton, there may actually be some sort of terminology for that, but I don't know about bolognitis or whatever you have. I don't think
there is a fear of foods. I believe there's a fear of certain foods. There is a phobia.
Right, but I'm not really sure if there's a bologna phobia. That might be too bizarre to even have.
Perhaps. Maybe they can call it Nikki-itis or something.
They could, but that might be for multiple.
Nikiophobia.
Which I think a lot of
afraid
people
of me.
Right, some people already have that issue, so I'm not sure.
Oh, thanks a lot. I did find it funny that the Oscar Mayer mansion is for sale. Wow, we should all pitch it and buy it. But then I thought they also make bologna, and maybe it would just be a conflict of interest thing.
Like fixtures and stuff made out of bologna, some of those
Okay, that would be just nasty. If you saw the condition of this place, you totally wouldn't want bologna that was dated around the same time that the last person took care of this place.
Bologna, but the doorknobs are brass bologna, long bologna.
Yeah, it would just freak me out. That's freaky.
Those places like that, you can do that. Right.
Yeah.
But, so really, we kind of took this into a phobia / marketing interview, and, I'm always good for that. What was I forgot. Remember when we had Bob Murch on? I mentioned the video he should do for his con. Should be like
it's like the
burning the boards.
The
ASPCA.
The ASPCA commercial that Sarah McLachlan does. Dude, I can't watch that.
No, I can't either. But the idea was solid. So I believe what we were talking about was burning the boards, and he wanted to save the boards. So I thought him saving the boards, he was going to put a commercial out for his convention. The ideal thing would be to have a commercial that would be like the ASPCA commercial with, save the...
That's like 5 minutes long.
Animals. Right, and have the Sarah McLachlan music going in the background where he's like running and saving the boards as they're being lit and stuff. That was another quality idea. We should almost have like a marketing show that I can host.
We should, and you need to come up with some for me because I need to do something. So.
All right, well that'll be next. We can if you want to bring that on air, we can bring that on air. Our live.
Sure.
Instead of investigating, we'll do live marketing 101.
Live marketing 101. That works. That's
you just have to give us your product, and we will come up with some sort of amazing tagline.
Yes,
or amazing.
Your tagline, or
run around like I'm wondering if Samantha Hawes right now is not just trying to figure out where she can get a mold in the shape of a ghost.
She's looking for some twine right now. She probably has a ghost
kind of
little like cake pan. So like she either that or she's like on Michaels.com and she's like ordering one right now.
Right, because you figure you might even get a deal on it now because it's not Halloween, so that it's been like this kind of like maybe even like a Jell-O mold or ice cube mold.
No, she can contact the Kingsville Library and she can rent a pan. They may have a ghost one.
I think they may have a ghost one, but I don't know if you want a cake pan because it'd be like a giant size.
Well, not if they have like little miniature, because they have like little heart cakes and maybe they have little ghosty cakes and ghost cakes. Oh my gosh! Look, there's another idea: ghost cakes.
Ghost cakes. I mean,
they should
really
be in everyone's lunchbox. Ghost cakes.
Where did the idea stop when you listen to Live Paranormal? It's really
we're just mind blown. Maybe.
It's really crazy because, people wonder how did the Live Paranormal Supercon get so popular so fast. And it's because of the crazy marketing skills that come out of, that are just pumped out. It's about a minute from, LiveParanormal.com's inner circle. YouTube.
Right.
It goes to show, anyone who listens to this realizes, how our events become such a powerhouse because of the great marketing that we both, our inner circle can come up with. So on that note,
true. We've already got someone who wants to buy a ghost cake in the chat room.
Which is surprising. They would jump on your ghost cake, and I didn't really see anyone jump on my ghost soap on a rope idea, but...
Well, I think that's the perfect addition to a prison investigation. If you bring your ghost soap on a rope and you happen to hit the shower area and start asking some questions. Just saying.
Well,
or use before or after.
I actually know what the type of soap you can use, and I'm not. This is perfect, but I'm going to take and cut it off here because the idea is so golden that.
Do I get to hear it after, or are you not sharing?
No, I'm not sharing. I will share with you, but not on air because when we start producing.
Okay. I was going to say, if you're not going to share it with me, I'm going to hang up right now. I had some serious issues with my mic tonight. I'm having mic issues.
It was fine. I'm well versed in the Ghost Hunters group, and I like Jason Hawes. I like all the guys on the show, and not just the guys. The women are okay too, I guess.
We'll always have Zoolander with Grant.
Right, and I haven't. We haven't had him on in a while, and the last time we were going to have Grant on, I came down with the stomach flu, or I wasn't in the stomach flu. I don't want to admit that I went to the Chinese buffet and got sick from the Chinese buffet because Niki and I had this thing.
Oh, my kid did that. It was so nasty.
I love the Chinese buffet, and Niki does not love the Chinese buffet. So I will never admit to getting sick from the Chinese buffet because that would completely.
We had this discussion, remember? And I told you, there's certain things you do not do in life. You do not go to the Chinese buffet. You just don't.
You do go to Chinese buffet, and you know what?
No.
1 time out of like 10, you're firing a 10% chance of getting sick, and that's not too bad. You know, it's not like I go all the time. I go maybe
a 1 in 10 chance of getting like ridiculous. No. That's just not a good idea. I'm sorry. I don't particularly like buffets anyway. But we hit the buffet up at the casino, and I tried the fried rice, and it was not good.
Because it wasn't a Chinese buffet. It was a general buffet, and they just happen to have like a Chinese section. So that's a difference. I'm really sure you can't.
That's the only reason I ate it, because I will not go to the Chinese buffet. I can't do it. Maybe it's just the ones around me. I don't know.
It's just
my phobia. Chinese buffets. Add it to the list.
Right. I'm not even sure how we got to Chinese buffet, but we did, because you were talking about Grant Wilson, and the last time I was supposed to have Grant Wilson on, I was ill, and so that's where that went. But we have a lot of exciting things
Jenna
going on.
just hit it on the head. I will go into a haunted asylum by myself, but I will not eat at the Chinese buffet. You got it.
We have a bunch of stuff coming up that we're going to be attending together, and we have a May 16th is the MUFON from Pennsylvania, their big convention in Erie, Pennsylvania, and we will be out there promoting the Paranormal SuperCon, and we've already talked about the Bob Murch's Talking Boards Con.
WeezyCon in Baltimore.
Baltimore, April 24th and 25th, and I believe 26th, if they're not the right dates. Well, you know what's funny is I've got to advertise in the chat room. I'm on a chat room, so I'll just scroll down. And it's the 23rd
through the 25th.
And that's in Baltimore, and that's going to be great. Live Paranormal will be out there. We will have a vending table, and we're going to be selling a new line of T-shirts, possibly some ghost soap on the rope, if we can get that all lined up in time.
Maybe ghost cakes if I can get a permit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you need a permit for that, and I'm not going to look into getting my permit for that.
Yeah, screw the permit.
City.
Somebody just cut a ghost out of a pan or something, make a cake.
Yeah, so we'll be selling soap now added to the lineup as of 10:52 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's now going to be the staple of Live Paranormal.
Got it.
And so we have that. We have that in Baltimore, followed by the UFO convention in Erie. And we have multiple things in June that aren't 100% shored up yet, but we will be at multiple locations, not in the same day. 2 weekends most likely in June, and the SuperCon in July. And then we have the Mansfield Reformatory in August. What is that, August 9th on a Sunday?
August 9th, yes.
For the Unity Foundation, which is like a Make-A-Wish but for adults, and that's ran up by Chris Dedman. So you can hit up Chris Dedman's Facebook or website, or if you know him, you can get all the information. Because I know it was a lockdown at Mansfield. We will be there broadcasting, so that's pretty cool. I was there last year, and it was hot, very hot. And
great.
Right. Then we have a very busy September with multiple events, and leading up to the Live Paranormal multiple Halloween events in October, including, which I will announce now because it's shored up and done, and I'm not sure how excited you are about the Halloween event, but we are doing an event Halloween Day in Erie, and investigation the night before. So that will be Paranormal SuperCon Halloween Edition in Erie, an all-day lecture on Halloween Day, and the night before we will have some sort of paranormal investigation. So the Paranormal SuperCon will strike twice from now on, and we are signed through 2020 at our location in Erie, and it's not like in 2020 I'm going to stop doing it, so that's just as far in advance I could book. So the Paranormal SuperCon is here to stay, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Me too. It's my favorite event. Maybe
it's my favorite event too, but I am definitely biased. So whenever people ask me if it's good or not, I'm like, let's talk to someone who is there, and maybe not like in the direct like inner Inner Circle from Live Paranormal, and
well, I'm new to the Inner Circle, so I said that before I was a part of the Inner Circle. So there you go.
It does not take. Actually, it's a long, drawn-out process to get into the Inner Circle of Live Paranormal, and
blood, sweat, and tears, my friends. Blood, sweat, and tears.
There was probably a 3-month time frame that I told you were teetering on it, off it, on and off it. Right, you're on the wall. Wasn't sure which way you were going to fall.
Right.
But finally,
I think I've done more than enough to prove myself.
I think you have, and that's been sufficient to keep you in the Inner Circle of Live Paranormal and keep going out to the event.
Thank you.
So we definitely appreciate
for now.
For now, things change. You never know. But anyway, it's unfair that we have a chat room with live video. So if you're not, in the chat room, come to the chat room. Right, because it throws you off. Because actually, I'm watching Niki in the chat room at Live Paranormal. So occasionally, when you say something that's kind of like off-putting to her, she will make a weird face, and then
I'm famous for my weird faces.
Well, then you're in trouble too. It's like, oh, after the show, I'm going to call and yell at your face, which is not a great face to have. So, for me, at least, from my standpoint. Right? But anyway, Paranormal SuperCon coming up. It's right around the corner, July 24th and 25th, and that's in Erie, Pennsylvania. ParanormalSuperCon.com. We have 7 new people to add to our featured guest area. That update, we haven't updated it since really the beginning of the month, so that's why there's 7. And that will be updated hopefully tomorrow, so you can check our Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/Paranormal SuperCon or /Paranormal SuperCon, and that'll be fun. We have new radio shows coming and new TV shows, which is glorified video, and just a lot of stuff coming on to Live Paranormal. You did a great session last night, and I know hopefully we'll have you do some more ITC sessions on LPTV soon.
Yeah.
Maybe, if we're lucky. Yes. And, for those of you who are interested, we are always looking for live investigations for the weekends. If you're interested in streaming live, contact us through the website. Just click on the About button or the Contact button on liveparanormal.com. So anything you want to add? Anything you want to add?
No, they need to tune in tomorrow night,
Are you busy sending text messages? Because I was looking, you looked like you were sending text messages.
No, actually, I had someone calling in, so they just got a not so fabulous auto response text message saying, "Not now, obscenity. At the movies or whatever. Don't sleep with a smartwatch, okay? Because it'll respond back that you're at the movies when you're really not. It happened to me.
Well, tomorrow night we do have Paranormal SuperCon radio, and you can tune in for that. That's going to be fantastic. That's Niki and Jen. So, we have Casey Matronia, who does Phoenix Rising aromatherapy, along with she does readings and other great stuff. So she'll be calling in. And I think we'll also get our friend Tracy Frick to call in too, who was at the expo with me over the weekend, and she was at Kingsville. So she'll call in for a little bit too. But Casey will be the guest tomorrow. We'll look for the press release, and she's fantastic.
Thank you for letting me know. It's the first I knew. I just wrote it down.
Letting you know on air, because I figured it out. You should know who your guest is. And
yes, thank you so much.
It was busy. I was at a convention, and usually it takes me like a day to recover, so I was going to get that to you yesterday, and I don't have a great excuse except for I didn't do it. So
you were coming up with soap on a rope ideas. I got it. It's all good.
My mind is constantly spinning with profitable ideas that are just there. So look for us soon on the Shark Tank show, because we will be stealing the ghost soap on a rope idea, trying to sell it off.
That's right.
All right, everyone have a great night. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.